Hello, everybody. Uh, a bit of an awkward thing happened. Uh, I did my debut stream, went well, but I did not know that on Twitch you have to opt in to have your stream saved. So, uh, debut stream lost into the ether. So, I do want to have my uh, debut at least, viewable by everyone. In fact, I want all of my streams viewable by everyone. So, I decided, you know what? I did my debut today. Is it really going to be so awkward to do my debut again? And, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, I hope you guys sincerely enjoy, uh, well, debut 2, Electric Boogaloo. This time with, well, there's nothing extra. I guess, uh, you know what? Let's just get started. Let me switch screens. By the way, this is going to be uploaded to YouTube. This is going to be my VOD channel, and also where I'm going to put highlights and, more specifically, my lore videos. We'll get into that. But there's going to be a dedicated playlist for lore, so I hope you guys look forward to it. Let's get started. So, who am I? What am I? Why am I? These are questions that will not be answered. Wait. Okay, well, I guess I have to say who I am. Alright, so, name. Ah! There we go. Vanix. It's pronounced Van X. Uh, some people have pronounced it Vanx. That's completely wrong. It's Van X. Just that. Don't have a last name. Last names are cliche. Uh, Titles. Uh, Now, I do have a few other names, like actual names, but we're not on good enough terms yet, so not really gonna let you guys know what those names are. At least, not right now. But, titles. So, first one. Uh, so, I'm an official lord. Uh, you see, back in Ireland, like way, way back in the day, like, I don't even remember if it was in this cycle or not, but essentially, I was doing some work for you know, a king, and he did not like me, like not at all. Like he thought I was kind of a dick, but he was actually a dick. But needless to say, uh, the people liked me, and I was one of those. I'm the type of person that gets things done. So short, more so short, to make a very long story short, there was a threat to the kingdom. I, being the most amazing person I am, handled that expertly, and a common reward for noble heroes such as myself was to give them a chunk of land uh, and make them a lord. Well, there was already a precedent set, and he didn't want to piss off other people, like other people in the court and, citizens, so he was forced to give me a lordship. However, uh, just because I got land doesn't mean it was good land. In fact, it was the kingdom's equivalent to a garbage dump. Hence why my official lord title is Lord of Trash. The rest don't have that much of a detailed explanation. I mean, they do, but I don't want to go into it. God of Magic, I guess you could consider me a god, and if I had to be a god of anything, magic would be the most accurate description. But just because I am a god doesn't necessarily mean can I see myself as one. Uh, More like just an immortal asshole who is really awesome, but definitely not god esque. I mean, I guess you could kind of consider me a Greek god, but uh, don't worry about it. The Nothing one. It's another title that I got along the way. Uh, it has significance, but that's personal. That guy. Uh, I just found this one funny because I do have a bit of a reputation in the universe, and a lot of people just call me that guy because they say it in such a harsh way. And honestly, I can understand. I have screwed a lot of people over in my life, but it is what it is. Lord of Nothing. This is a unofficial Lord title. I just took two names. Well, I took my Lord title and my the Nothing One title, and I just combined them now both because Lord of Nothing suits me perfectly. Devil of the Sacred Flame. Uh, let's just say I pissed off a very large group of people, and they gave me this title uh, because they uh, really wanted to demonize me, hence the term devil. And I understand, but they're also a bunch of dicks. And then the last one is just a self-appointed title, the Storyteller. I just like telling stories. We will get into that later, but yeah, Storyteller. Now, time for a birthday. So, when coming up with a birthday, I'm an immortal being, by the way, who's timeless. I actually existed before your concept of time. I'm sorry, space bug. Um, so, uh, yeah, I don't. I just kind of had a dartboard, and I just kind of threw it. Well, I threw a dart at a calendar. Uh, you know, a full 12-month calendar. Those are rare, but it landed on September 30th. So, wrong one. There we go. So September 30th, my birthday. We're just going with that because again, immortal, timeless being, best thing we can got. Now age. Now what did I just say, kids? I'm an immortal, timeless being. Your concept of time does not apply to me. So, what would that make my age? Lamau. Because I don't have an age. I'm ageless. I don't. Time is optional for me. You guys say time is relative? Well, time is just a checkbox that I can opt in and out of. Now, being a god, we can choose what we look like. I decided to look like a nice young anime boy. But height wise, I decided just to go 5'9". I could make myself taller, but that's just a lot of work. Okay, well, it's not a lot of work. It's just, I feel comfortable at this height. And gender, male, but, again, I could be anything. Because, gender is, it's just a concept, really. So, let's continue. All about two. Oh, by the way, I mentioned this in the actual, live stream, but I am just kind of out here floating in space. No spaceship. Just kind of floating. I was asleep for a while. You see, I like to tuck myself into my little jacket here and just kind of float around. I don't need, oxygen or anything or food. So I just kind of drift around just because you get really good naps in space just floating around. We'll get into more reasons why I just prefer to float around in space, but there is a good reason for it. Now, yeah, we'll get into everything. So, favorite colors: silver and ice blue. Uh, they're just really nice colors. Ice blue in particular is pretty cool. All right, favorite food: pizza. Most versatile food on the planet. Can have it every day for every meal. You can do all sorts of things with it, and it's just fucking delicious. And I mean, in one timeline, um, the most popular dish was gummy worm pizza. It's exactly how it sounds, and it's awful. It's really awful. but it was a thing and it worked. But oh my god, cooked gummy bears while on their own, well, gummy worms, all on their own, they're not that bad. Uh, Combined with tomato sauce and cheese and bread, no, no, thank you. Um, Likes. So first things first, I love sleeping. Hence the 10,000 year nap. Um, Junk food, of course. Uh, you know, I'm the king of trash, so I eat like trash. Wait, not king of trash. I'm the lord of trash. Sorry, I can't give myself too big of a, you know, promotion. But there is games. I like all sorts of games: video games, board games, sports games, uh, mind games, the games where you lock a bunch of people inside a room and there's a bunch of death traps and they have to survive. But, the solution is that they just have to be friends and work together, but, they never really do. So everyone ends up dying, and you kind of feel a little bit bad because, it was just a prank, bro. But, you know, it's just how these things go. Intricate plans. I mean, I guess this kind of goes in with the whole death room thing. Uh, I just like my life is just I like making everything a Rube Goldberg machine. Like I just like making things needlessly complicated and just so many steps. That way, my enemies and my friends can never tell what's going on. And that way, whenever my desired outcome does happen, everyone's like, "Whoa!" And yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And another thing, the unpredictable. Universe is a chaotic thing, always changing, always evolving. You know, from the start to the end, you can never really tell what's going to happen, and I like that. I like whenever very unexpected things happen. It's just, it's just interesting. And, of course, that you know you gotta plan around that unpredictability, which is just so much fun. Because then you get to come up with 112 different plans for well, you're gonna have a breakfast tomorrow, but oh, guess what? Your milk spoiled overnight. What are you gonna do? Well, you can always go with water, or you can go and you can hijack a cow. And how are you gonna hijack a cow? Well, there's a farm over there, and things just kind of devolve into that. Oh, and I guess I like anime too. Uh, Dislikes time. Boredom. Most absolute horrendous thing. Uh, just because I nap, doesn't mean I'm bored during it. I have some pretty cool dreams. Plus, napping just feels really good. I just don't like having nothing to do. Um, which this goes kind of hand in hand with paperwork because paperwork is the most boring thing in any timeline. Um, Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I just kind of elect to float around in space. You don't have to do any paperwork to float in space. You don't have to have a bank account because you're not buying food or paying rent. You don't have to get an apartment or a house. All that paperwork. You don't have to have a job floating in space. Spaceships generally require some type of paperwork to own and operate. So it's just so much easier just to float around space. And yeah, uh, another thing I don't like is I don't like other gods. Specifically the two in my universe. Um, they're just see, I call everyone dicks, but these guys are just horrible. They're your atypical eldritch god. Mortals can't understand them, and they have plans because they only look out for their own self interest. Which, oh my god, I'm just kind of explaining myself there, but they just suck. They're jerks. Sure they don't like me, and they don't invite me to their meetups, but still. You guys will learn in time. These guys are no good. Oh, and then children. Like, I know I was just talking about eldritch gods, and like, that's its own, unique form of evil. But children, man, like, you have like, your businessman evil, like your politician evil, your just general psychopath evil. You have, or villainishly evil. Then you have children. Children are their own like unique form of evil. I and it's not because like, I constantly get attacked by children. Like they run up and kick my knees and like bite my hands. It's just something about them, man. Like they're just evil. But biggest fear, not children. Uh Stagnation. As I said before, the universe is a constant state of changing. No, it's created. It changes. It changes over time, and then it ends, and that's how it's supposed to be. If things stagnate, that means something is horribly wrong. And like, I know I'm not talking in like the greater scale, but like this goes in hand with boredom. If you're doing the same thing day in and day out, and like there's no change, and like that's just terrifying. Anyway, artist director. We, my artist, the person who helped design me and give me a beautiful anime body, is Senaloli, and there's their Twitter, and the one that I worked through to commission this body and help rig it for live 2D is Darren. Both of their Twitters are there. Please go check them out, and thank you very much for both of your hard work. Now, goals. Uh, World domination is not quite one, but mainly just because dominating the world is just a lot of paperwork. Um, so we'll go with collabing with interesting people. I've been asleep for a while, not quite sure what era I'm in, uh, but I want to meet a bunch of interesting people. Like, it doesn't matter if they're big streamers, small streamers, as long as they're interesting. You know? Goal number two, 24-hour stream for charity. Uh, because of an incident with a comment, health isn't really that great right now, and uh, the drifting in space life has been a bit chaotic. But there's a lot of charities that I want to support, and one way I think I could support them is doing a 24-hour stream, well, charity stream, to raise money for these charities, because energy levels have been very low recently. So being able to do a 24-hour stream would mean a lot to me. So that is one of my bigger goals, which hopefully we can do one day. Now, the meat and potatoes of my goals. Continue working on writing and fleshing out my stories. So you have, your VTubers and your streamers who are singers, who are artists, who have their own talents and stuff. I guess you could say my talent is writing. Uh, I actually do have one book that is like 90% done. Like, all the writing is done. I just need to find a good editor and a publisher, and then it is good. I actually do have it available on Amazon Books now, just for people to read if they want. Like it's like $1, but you know, it's part one of a larger story I want to tell, and it takes place in a universe that I'm building. So, right now I'm working on the lore because the first book is basically introducing the characters and a bit of the universe, but mainly introducing characters and like establishing like the overall plot. Second book is going to be about basically establishing one section of this universe I'm building, along with character development. And like the section that I'm working on is like really cool in my opinion. Uh, I take inspiration from a lot of things like anime, movies, games, and like there's certain games and anime that like have really good themes that like I want to build up on, and I'm taking those themes and like crafting my own magic system and all of that fun stuff, and it's all coming together really well, and I want to flesh that out more, and it's something that I want to share with you. You know, maybe one day I can release my own audiobook of my stories, audio dramas, and most importantly, the one thing I'm really excited about, lore series. You know, uh, I really like lists like various lore series on YouTube, like Halo lore, Lord of the Rings lore. Just I can just watch that stuff for hours. I actually have watched that stuff for hours and just binged it. And I want to make my own lore series. I already have like first few like I guess episodes kind of thought out, and that is one thing I want to work on. Uh, you know, like in conjunction with my story. You know, like fully flesh out these ideas that like are briefly mentioned in the main story, like because I want to like tell my story in a natural way. Like I don't want to have like characters go like, oh yes, and here is a lore dump explanation of all of this, like how Tolkien in Lord of the Rings has like in the glossary that has all these extra stories that provide context. That's essentially what my lore series is going to be. Of course, there's still a lot I need to work on with it, but uh, yeah, lore series. It's gonna be. I'm gonna live stream it. That way, there's a bit of audience interaction and like I can answer questions live. But it's also gonna be recorded and edited and put onto YouTube and do a nice playlist. That way, people can watch it. And I sincerely hope you guys enjoy it. Of course, I am a character in the story. Uh, First book doesn't really portray me in a good light, honestly. Uh, but fair, fair, fair. How I'm treated is kind of what I deserve. Uh, but main character is a nice, I can't say innocent, but beautiful girl named Mordred who has an interesting time. And she is an interesting character, and I hope you guys get to love her. And honestly, because I love her. But let's move on. Interests. So, I guess you could say some of these interests might have influenced my story, but I won't say. You'll have to read it for yourself to find out. So, for games, you got the Soul series. I realize now that I messed up, and not just the Souls games, but just from software games in general. Uh, you know, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1 through 3. Not quite Sekiro. Uh, just I'm not a fan of parrying, so I couldn't really get into that game. But before Elden Ring, I would have said Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 were my favorites, but I really, really liked Elden Ring. Like it was weird, but it itched my fantasy itch, and has a lot of cool weapons and bosses, and like is gorgeous and has a lot of content. But this isn't an Elden Ring stream. I could stream Elden Ring at some point, but yeah, no. Souls games really good. Pokemon, I mean, my favorite two Pokemon are Rayquaza and Latios. Favorite Pokemon game, I guess, would be Heart Gold and Soul Silver, mainly just because of all the content, and plus it has really good sprite animations and stuff. Uh, Fallout New Vegas, absolutely classic RPG. Uh, Rune Factory, I've only played Rune Factory 4. Trying to play Rune Factory 5, it's just RF5 is optimized really badly, and I can't play it more than 2 hours at a time. Well, hell, even playing 20 minutes is rough. Just like it gives me mass motion sickness. Halo series, I like it for the story. Uh, Never really played competitive games, but it's a fun game. I've been playing it for a very long time. Portal series, funny, thought provoking, and just fun games. And then Knights of the Old Republic. Uh, I'm just a huge Star Wars fan, so you know, uh, Coder, of course, fantastic game. Coder 2 is slightly better. It's just it needed a few things worked out. Now for anime. This isn't a list of all my favorite anime. This is just a list of my top favorite anime. First off, you got Konosuba. I don't think I have to justify this one. It's just a really good, funny comedy series that has great animation and like absolutely great waifus. And Cosmo's fantastic too. Uh, Fate. I'm relatively new to the Fate series. I guess I started watching about 2 years ago, but I've just fallen in love with it. Favorite of the series is Unlimited Blade Works. Goddamn, like Archer, fantastic in that, and also Shiro. Uh, Not quite happy with Gilgamesh, but I guess that's just how he is in the like in just like the Stay Night series. It's Gilgamesh in Grand Order. Oh my god, he is best boy. Uh, One thing I actually kind of want to do is stream some Fate stuff. Uh, More specifically, the Gotcha game. First off, to show off my uh, collection of amazing characters, but also just, like stream events and things like that. Might as well do something with my Gotcha addiction. Uh, Psychopaths. Uh, it's everything I want in just media in general. You got your sci-fi dystopian theme. You got a thriller, horror, uh, and intrigue. You got great character development, thought-provoking questions, great animation, absolute gore. Like it's honestly just like the peak of just fiction for me. Like I'm not just talking anime. I'm just talking like things in general. Season two, we don't talk about season two, and season three. I'm still conflicted on it. Like I like some of the characters, but like some of the things they do is just kind of questionable. Like one of the characters' abilities, it makes things a little bit too contrived. And then there's Gurren Lagann. It's a dumb anime, but it's fun, crazy, and like anytime I'm feeling a bit down, I just watch Gurren, and it never fails to make me happy. That intro, dear God, and like the two story beats wherever like the intro song starts playing, and like you're just like, yeah, like oh God, like it. Yes, 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 yes. And then, of course, I forgot to add this, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I guess Golden Wind is just so far the best that's out. Though I am kind of fond of Battle Tendency, mainly just because I love Joseph. Well, young Joseph. He's like best boy until he becomes Cheaty Boy. But I guess if Susie Q forgave him, I guess I can too. So music, mainly a metalhead. Like something about metal and just rock in general, just uh, like I guess it's because I'm floating in space and there's nothing but rocks out here. Get it? But anyways, so Iron Maiden, specifically from Iron Maiden, my two favorite songs from them are Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and then Alexander the Great. Both just Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I guess it's because of a certain fantasy novel a series that I like that from. But Alexander the Great is just a fucking good song. In Disturbed, specifically, like I guess the songs that you might know are Warrior, Never Again, Down with the Sickness. But my favorite song is Never Again. Uh, it's essentially about, I can't say that on YouTube, but 1940s really bad event and it's a very moving song, especially if you know the author's religious preference. And honestly, I think it's a song that still holds up to today. But again, uh, no need to get too real, and no need to get demon no need to piss YouTube off. Then there's Muse. They're just a really good band. Specifically, my favorite song from them is Pressure. Uh, in one timeline, I saw them live in person, and oh my god, their concerts are fucking amazing. Like the things they did, like they were literally rappelling from like the ceiling. They had mechs. They had like just a bunch of cool stuff, and like eventually, whenever I can, I do want to go back to a Muse concert. Uh, Myth and Royd. Uh, you'll know this band mainly for the ReZero and Overlord openings. Just a really good band, kind of like Muse and like how they do a lot of interesting and unique things. And yeah, I really like them. Game OSTs. Like, there's so many OSTs that are really good. Like the Souls games, Undertale, Halo, and like I could just keep listing OSTs that I like, but I'm not because I mean most games do have a good OST, and like it's just something good to have on in the background. Then, of course, the classic Queen, and this is totally not a JoJo reference. My favorite character is Kira Yoshikage, by the way. All right, so books. First off, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Uh, my humor is kind of really inspired by Hitchhikers and by another author on this series. But Douglas Adams, one of the huge inspirations for me. I just love the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books, and in fact, one of the books actually helped me through a really tough time in my life. And like, yeah, Douglas Adams, fantastic author, and we miss him every day. Lord of the Rings, another classic series. I don't think I need to explain why Lord of the Rings is great, but uh, the world building and like just the sheer depth is just inspiring to me. Pendragon series, a series that I don't really see talked about that often, but I guess a quick description would be like it's kind of a multiverse thing where like a bunch like I want to say 10 worlds are connected, and like you have your main kid who can like I think they're called travelers. It's been a while since I read the series, but these people basically travel between like these dimensions, and like each dimension is its own unique theme. It's like you have one that's just kind of like, oh, ordinary day with ordinary things. You have one that's 1930s New York. Then you have another that is the future. But then you have really weird ones, like one that is just a world that is just virtual reality. You have another that's like a bunch of cat people. You have another that is just like a water world, and like some things that you learn about these worlds are like, oh my god, like that's really interesting. And like you have a bunch of really interesting characters. Like one I specifically remember is an old guy named Gunny who is just an absolute cinnamon roll and badass. And like you have your main big bad guy who wants to like rewrite, like wants to destroy the other dimensions and like create another one. And it's just a really really good series. And another good book, Jam by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. He normally writes really good, like you'll know him as a YouTuber. Like he's just a really good author who can also make really funny books. And Jam is one that really stands out to me just because it's about a flesh-eating jam that covers Brisbane, and just that's the story. People just surviving. And like there's a few twists, but like it's jam that eats people. Like that's an amazing story concept. So Shout out to Yahtzee. Good man. Great man. Let's move on. So, wrapping up social media stuff. So, you're on the YouTube channel. Link to my Twitch TV / Lord Vanex will be at the bottom. But you can find me on Twitter at Lord Vanex. I don't do normal Twitter stuff, aka being toxic in body, but I post funny things, schedule updates, uh, interact with other people, like art, that kind of fun stuff. Art hashtag Lord of Nothing. This will be art just for me. When I do start pushing out my book and like lore stuff, we will just have the art hashtag of hashtag Cycle Saga. I hope that a lot of awesome art of characters like Mordred comes out, because honestly, Mordred deserves more art than this guy. But I'll take art of myself, of course. But yeah, hashtag Lore or Nothing. Feel free to post what you want there. And of course, fan name, Minions of Nothing, because all of you are now my minions. And that's it for the presentation. Again, I did this live on Twitch, but I forgot to turn on the option of recording streams. So yeah, let's move over here. There we go. Okay, there we go. I don't know why I got sad there for a second. But yeah. So recorded this on Twitch. Well, originally streamed on Twitch, but had to re-record just because I want to have my debut stream live. That way people can go back and watch. Plus, it's always good to have a good record for myself. So, a few schedule things. First off, there's going to be no schedule for a bit. Because, I'm just drifting in space, and space Wi-Fi is, a bit shitty. Not really able to stream quite a lot, but I have a feeling that soon-ish I'll be able to crash into a planet. And, then things will really smooth out now. Well, then. Until then, I will aim to have 2 streams per week. Preferably on Wednesdays and Saturdays. But, of course, always check Twitter, because I'll post at least 2 hours before I do stream. And, I'll be streaming video games at first. Not quite sure what game I want to stream. I also have a few YouTube nights, but we'll see on that. But, yeah. Still trying to figure out what game I want to stream first. Really wanting to avoid Elden Ring, but it might be Elden Ring. Of course, check out the YouTube, check out Twitch, and thank you guys very much for watching. Yeah, you guys are all amazing, and not as amazing as me, because, I'm Lord Vanex, Lord of Trash, Devil of Sacred Flame, the Nothing One, and of course... Oh, wait. First things first. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not limited to just my coat. Ooh. Of course, I can get very serious. And scared. But, yeah. I hope you guys have a great time, and until next time, take care and stay safe, and try not to drop any meteors on planets. I don't know how many of you will be running into that situation, but it is a thing that happens. And if you do, just make sure you duck the police at all costs. They can't arrest you if they can't catch you.